going on, you guys? It's Keenan Briggs, sports consultant and mentor. Today's conversation is a fun one. I feel it's post about your athletes, right? Back in the day, um, back in my day, right? We would compete and we would um, try to get in the newspaper, right? This would mean a reporter would come to the meet, watch this meet, watch the athletes, write down some notes, and then go to the athlete and ask them, with a little recorder, and say, "How'd you feel about the race?" They would ask questions, right? Then you would say whatever you have to say, and they would write down some of your thoughts, things like that. Then they would reimagine what you said, and then put this article together, and then post that article, right? If it's all about you, it'll have a picture of you. It'll have your quotes. It'll have a little bit of your background, things like that. If it's not about specifically about you, it'll have just a recap of the track meet. Back then, they would essentially have the top three times or just the event winners and your time. It'll have your first initial, last name, and then your times. So that was back then, right? And there were so many track meets going on. It would just be just a recap, or if it was about you, it was just that one article. Now you have social media and you can make your own articles. You can, highlight your own videos and things like that. And so, what emotion the athletes would feel whenever there was an article written about them is they would be like through the roof, right? And many times we would cut out the newspaper articles and put that into a clipboard of some sort or a scrapbook of some sort. And it'd be just an amazing feeling, right? Now you don't have the experience of having physical articles written about you because it's all digital. And now anyone can write these articles, and you can write them for yourself and or highlight your own videos and etc. So coaches, the reason why I'm saying you want to post about your athletes is when it's not coming from them, it's coming from you. It makes the athlete feel a certain way. It makes them feel proud, accomplished, seen, right? And so whenever you have an athlete that in your eyes it's seen as good, you want to post about them. Now, there are certain ways to post about them. I have gone through my ups and downs of posting about them. For example, I had an athlete who was doing, I'll keep it broad, but basically he's doing high jump, and he was my most fun uh, characters. I call him a character because he was just every day something was different. It was always fun with him. And he would high jump, and he would just either flop and fall into the pit without jumping, or he would literally high jump, perfect form under the bar. Crazy. I don't understand why he would do this. But I posted this, this little compilation of the joy that I would have with this athlete. And, either his family members or parents or whoever didn't like that, and they saw it as negative. So I took the videos down, right? Very simple. But but in my mind, it was like I was sharing the joy that I had. But again, their experience wasn't that. So I had to make sure that I posted things that were, I guess, deemed as right. But but for example, I used to put bloopers up all the time, and then the bloopers were seen as negative. So I just stopped putting those things up. I could go against the grain and still post them, but it is what it is, right? Anyway, but when you post about the athletes, I post all levels of success. I post the athletes that do national level stuff, and I also post the athletes that do just regional or smaller stuff, even just personal goals, right? When you know your athletes, that's the previous video, you know exactly what they're shooting for. If an athlete's looking to just make your Instagram or social media post, like they'll do whatever it takes to do that. So I tell my athletes, if your form is bad and is not improving, we're not going to post it. So let's work on your form so that you have an improvement in your form. Then I'll post your improvement. And they say, that's great. Now, they may not be perfect, right? However, they went from point A to point B. And now because of that, they're excited. Then I'll post that progression, right? That gives them something to shoot for. And so what I do with the athletes is I just create these little areas. This year is crazy. So many athletes are doing so well. It's hard to like identify how many posts and what posts I'm going to do. But yeah, so you're going to do that. What I will say is the apps that I use are InShot, and I also use Adobe, the Adobe app, whatever it's called. I use those two, and I just put layers. I just look at other social media posts from other club teams or other universities, and I just use that as inspiration, and I create my own version of that. This year, what I've decided to do was I like how you have a post and it has a picture of like the subject or the athlete, and then like a news title, right? Like so and so has PR'd every time this season so far, and then that will lead you to click on the picture or the post and then swipe and you see the video. That isn't a reel. Now it's just a post on Instagram, but it's still fine. And I'm just kind of seeing how that works. It also reads more like a article. And then in the description or the comment box or whatever, I actually write down like an explanation of what happened. So what this does is for club teams or even schools, it creates a commercial of the experience, right? It's like this is an athlete who's doing certain things and this is their story. Then now it creates this like I want to have that story, or I did that too, but no one's posted about me, right? It creates this club of, I've been accomplishing things. But on the flip side is whenever I post these images and whatever else, whenever you search their names, these athletes, these pictures pop up and these videos pop up. So now when coaches are looking to recruit your athletes, they can find more content, more videos of them, and they're going to get more exposure. So posting about your athletes goes a very, very long way. It is time consuming. I used to record every single video with my phone. I'd have to figure out where the video was, which jump it was, all those things. It took a while. Now what I do is I have the athletes obviously record, not during competition, but it's like the parents that will record record for them, then send me their videos, mainly because I'm coaching or assessing during the jumps, but I'll be able to have those videos. Now, granted, the quality of them is going to be different each time. However, at the end of the day, content is content. Once you do have those videos, you can share that and tell the story. And what I've seen through is I'll post videos and then I'll have coaches that reach out to me and say, "Hey, I didn't know the athlete jumped like that. Like that's something good. I saw the mark, but I didn't see them physically jump. Now I can see it. It makes it easier. So now when coaches are on my page, they can see all the athletes. And then I also have a specific way of um, sharing and tagging them to where that is easy to find them. Um, yeah, all those things. But at the end of the day, what I want to say is when you post your athletes, it creates another layer of excitement, creates another layer of try hard because now they're trying to be a part of this I got posted group. Um, but also the other side of it is some kids might feel left out because you're not posting about them. Create your own criteria of how to get posted. Um, Mine is just I need something to post about you, something you're proud of. If their goal is that they want a PR or their goal is they want to get certain grade point average, I tell them, let me know what it is to post about. Then I'll create something. Now, it won't be specifically just for them if it's grades or whatever else. But what I'll do is I'll say, hey, this is our average. I haven't done this post yet, but this is an idea. If you have a certain GPA or you're doing, these are all the athletes that are doing nonprofit stuff, then I'll post that, right? Last year, I believe it was Karis and Julia did a nonprofit for youth kids in the area. And so I posted about them. They got social media posting, right? So just keep that in mind and post about them. It creates so much more excitement. And then when you really get advanced, you can actually create your own articles and then send them as a press release to the news agencies around. That's next level. I've done this in the past, but I should do this a lot more. And yeah, today's video is super short. The reason for it is because I got some things to do today. But yeah, post your athletes and yeah. All right.